And this is why you see successful people be successful. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you are new here, I make videos on career and life guidance every week here on my channel. So if you're interested in that, then go ahead and click that notification bell so that you're notified every time that I upload a video. Today is the first video of my book club. Now, I just recently decided to start a book club because I realized books are really important. They help us find our purpose in life, and books are a guide. And if you have a purpose for reading, it's gonna work for you. And books can literally be life-changing. So I wanna do a book club so that we can get into the habit of reading books with a purpose to help us specifically on our goals, to help us with our goals, to help us with our journey, and to help us find our purpose. So when I first decided to read The Untethered Soul, I had not decided yet to start a book club. So I didn't give you guys time to purchase this book to read it with me throughout the month. But stay tuned because at the end of this video, I'm going to be announcing the book of December, and we'll be able to read it together and purchase it and then read it together. Have like about a month or so to read it, and then a book review at the end of the month. But so I don't take that much time up from this video, in the description down below is going to be all the information on how we're going to do the book club, how I'm going to go about it. And also, if you do not follow me on Instagram, it's my full name, Daniella _. On there, I'm going to be making a lot of updates about the book club, the books that we're going to read, and all that. But I want the conversation to continue about the books to be mainly on the book review of the video and just on my YouTube channel. So make sure that you're subscribed to my YouTube channel and that you're also following me on Instagram. And on the community tab, I also make updates. So The Untethered Soul is a life-changing book. Now, I'm still reading it, I'm not gonna lie, because this is the kind of book that once you learn something, you're gonna wanna absorb it, you're gonna wanna apply it. And you can't really do that if you're rushing through the book. So it is a little bit difficult to read just because I think spirituality is a difficult topic. But it's so important and it's so necessary to learn about spirituality. The reason is because he talks about how we are very familiar with our physical energies, but we're not really exercising or paying attention to our spiritual energies. So for example, physical and outer energy. When we go to the gym, we sweat, we're out of breath, we are tired, so we feel that energy. We know that we used energy in the gym because we can feel it and we can actually see it. But spiritual energy is constantly doing the same thing. So I'm going to make a reference really quick, which is what I'm going to do throughout this video. I'm just going to read a couple like sentences depending on what I'm talking about. But this is how he says we use our inner energies. Creating thoughts, holding on to thoughts, recalling thoughts, generating emotions, controlling emotions, and disciplining powerful inner drives all require a tremendous expenditure of energy. So he's saying that we're constantly spending energy and using it and wasting it and absorbing it, creating thoughts. All that is energy that we're using. But because we can't see it, it's harder for people to be aware of it, to control it, or to even care about it. But he says that by taking care of our inner energies, our lives will be a lot better that way, because inner energies affect outer energy. But one kind of inner energy is depression, anxiety. And what happens when we get depressed? We stop doing things, we stop eating, and so that's an example of how inner energies can affect our outer energies. Instead of changing things on the physical, on the outside, we have to change things on the inside first. So for example, if you want to reach success in life, you can reach it physically, but if you are not reaching it mentally and spiritually, you're never gonna be fully happy. You're never gonna really reach your highest potential. You're not gonna be the best that you can be. You have to have everything. Everything has to go with you to success or to wherever you wanna be in life. And think about it this way, spirituality is important because we have to take care of our souls. Like I explained in my last video on why spirituality is important, our souls stay alive when our bodies decay and they don't exist anymore, but our souls do. So we have to take care of it. Everything has a soul, animal, humans. A soul is what makes up our personalities, our characteristics, and our qualities. It's what makes us who we are, not our bodies, not our skin, not how we look like, but how we are inside. And so we have to take care of that. Now, the thing is, some people just go about life and they let their emotions and their thoughts take over completely. And in spirituality, you're doing the opposite. You're controlling your emotions, and so that not everything is being absorbed. You're not using every single thought and every single emotion to control what you're doing in your life. You are in control, not your thoughts. And so here he talks about consciousness. He says use consciousness over thoughts. Consciousness is who you truly are. So for example, he says to center it. So you are in the middle. Imagine the thoughts are here. The thoughts, he calls it the inner roommate, the voice inside your head. It's not who you are not your thoughts. And if you see it in that way, you'll be a lot more in control of your own life instead of your thoughts being in control of it. Imagine if we let our thoughts be in control all the time. That would be insane, right? Because when we're doing something nerve-wracking, when we're choosing or just doing something very important in our lives, our thoughts are nervous. They're nervous, they're scared, they're fearing doing whatever you're about to do. And so what if we listened to that fear and those thoughts all the time? We won't do anything in our lives at all. What about when you're arguing with your partner and, you know, us women, if you're a man watching this, you know that women are just like constantly blah, 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 blah. That's because we're letting our thoughts come out of here way too much sometimes. And most of the time our thoughts just drive us crazy for no reason at all. And so he's not saying to wipe away your thoughts, because you are still going to exist, thoughts or no thoughts, okay? They're still going to be there, you're still going to exist, but he says to center your consciousness so that you're aware of what your thoughts are saying, what your voice is saying, so that you're aware. And when you're aware, you can choose to listen to it or not to listen to it. But if you're not aware and if you're too wrapped up in your thoughts, you're going to listen to it way too much, and you're going to let those thoughts and that voice, that inner roommate, control your life. He also says you are not the experience. So you're the person that's experiencing life, but you're not the experience. So he tells you to not get too wrapped up, but to be in the center so that you can fully experience life for what it is and be fully aware while enjoying life. So he talks about the lucid self. The lucid self, if you've ever heard about lucid dreaming, it's like when you're aware that you're dreaming. So when you're the lucid self, you're aware that you're experiencing life. It says, consciousness has the ability to focus itself on certain objects. So if you are more conscious, you're gonna be able to choose what to focus on and what not to focus on. But that only happens if you're aware and if your consciousness is centered. If you have trouble focusing on whatever it is, that means your consciousness is not centered. You have to, you have to let go of the thoughts. You have to let go of everything else. Center yourself to be able to focus. And this is why you see successful people they practice spirituality. You know, they may not talk about it, but they do. They talk about it in different ways. A lot of people meditate. I meditate in different ways. I don't meditate like this. I don't meditate like, I meditate just by being in silence and by reading and all those things. But they take time to do this, to self-care, to practice spirituality, because they understand that once you're trying to reach a certain point in your life, which is basically the highest potential, you're gonna have to take care of your soul. He says to be present. And I'm going to read this because this is like the ideal way to live life. He says, people who are present, their life is present, the wholeness of life is passing through them. Imagine if you were so fully present during each experience of life that it was touching you to the depth of your being. Every moment would be a stimulating, moving experience because you would be completely open and life would be flowing right through you. So you would be fully experiencing life instead of closing yourself. He talks about closing your energy centers. So if you're always open, you're going to be fully experiencing life. But if you close yourself off to things because of fear or because whatever past impressions you've had, he uses the example of a guy who's driving and he sees a blue Mustang, which is his girlfriend's car. And in that car is his girlfriend and a guy. It's what he's seeing, but he doesn't know for sure if that's his girlfriend. But because it's the same car and there's a girl in it and then there's a boy in it, he automatically has suspicions that that might be his girlfriend cheating on him. But he goes home and never tells his girlfriend about it and never asks, hey, was that you? Were you in the road? He never asks, he never addresses anything, and he just moves on. And then 10 years later, he gets married to another person. They're driving down the road and he sees a blue Mustang. And even though it's been 10 years and even though he's married to somebody else, he still had that impression again, that feeling in his stomach of like worry or like that thought came back to his head, and he asked himself, did he cheat on me? Was she cheating on me? And so that is an example of impressions that we've had in our past. He calls it Samskaara. Samskaara is, I think, in Hinduism is how they call it. It's called stored past energies. And if we do not take care, or if we do not let go in the moment, meaning if we don't have closure, we don't find closure, or we don't try to fix something, it's gonna continue, it's gonna follow us through life, no matter what, because that energy is always gonna be there. So it's better to not absorb energy. It's better to just let it go right through you. If you're open, that can happen, but if you're closed, that's not gonna happen. That's why people have trauma. That's why people don't usually fully experience life, because maybe something they've had a bad experience before, so then they avoid it altogether. Now, I don't want to get too much into this and into all this, because he makes so many points. Most important thing is that he says, in order to free yourself, you have to find yourself first, and you can only find yourself through spirituality, simply taking care of your inner energy first. And so I feel like this book is really going to help you be the best that you can be. It's gonna take time, but I think that this is the only book that you will ever need about spirituality. Even if you've never heard any of these words before in this book, you're gonna learn them here, and he explains and he breaks it down. But even if you've never really looked into spirituality like this, the thing that makes it easy to read is that he puts real life examples that we can relate to. And when you read it, you're gonna be like, oh, that's what that's called. Oh, that's what that is. I could have fixed that before. I could have controlled that. I went through that. I felt that. The way that he breaks down spirituality, I love it. He takes elements from Buddhism, from Hinduism, from, different things, but he doesn't talk about religion. He just talks simply about improving yourself from within. He's not saying that you're always going to be like this perfect person. You're going to be calm all the time, and there's a way to be like that, and you can be like that. It's just different for some people, and maybe some people it takes more time, but I think this is the root. It all starts from here. There's a lot of people that deal with mental, and even if you don't have any mental health problems, we still all experience stress, anxiety in different ways, different levels of it, but we all experience. So wouldn't it be good to learn exactly why we feel that way and how we can change that? Literally within ourselves. We don't have to look out into any outside source. How can we change that within? So spirituality is very important because it helps you be that person that you need to be as successful as you can be. Get the book. This is a book that you really need in your life, and it's the only book that you'll ever need when it comes to spirituality, and maybe even success. But obviously we gotta read other books. We can't just stay with one for the rest of our lives. But if it was one book that I decide to stay with for the rest of my life, it'd be this one. I swear. I'll let you know if that changes, but right now, nope. And so the next book, drum roll, where is it? I have it hiding behind this board. You didn't see the other book, right? Because I have also January's book. Big Magic. Big Magic. Can you see it? Can you see it? Big Magic is the book that we're going to be reading in December. So go and get it. It retails for $16 at the bookstore, but maybe you can get it for cheaper on Amazon. So I'll link it down below. But Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. She also wrote Eat, Pray, Love, which is a very good book. So I'm excited. It's more about creativity and how to be a more creative person. It says creative living beyond fear. So I'm excited for this book. Go get this book, guys. If you have any questions about this book, then let me know in the comments down below. I want to continue the conversation in the comments down below. So let me know if you have any questions on this book, what I mentioned in this video about spirituality overall. How do you feel about spirituality? Let me know down below. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.